We're live.
We're live.
I forgot it's on me. Fuck. We're recording on our phones. I'm trying to do that because I'm not sure I can sync them up either way.
Yeah, I mean, do you want me to just show you, like, some other time?
Yeah, we can just do that some other time.
All right.
But if I'm recording, it doesn't really make sense to record on our phones. That's what I'm saying. I mean, if I'm editing.
I mean, it does make sense, though, because the recording is so much clearer.
But I can't put it together.
Why not?
Because I don't know how to.
You know what?
I don't know how to put it together.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'll just show you sometime.
Yeah, that's what, you can show me whenever, but like I doubt you're gonna be able to show me by the time I start editing it.
Nah,
Yeah,
we straight on that.
Yeah. All right, here we go. What's up, public sports announce? That's awful. Fuck that. What's good, listeners? Public sports announcement is back. Long time no see. We're sorry for that. I know we've been MIA. We're back now, ready for action. I'm here as usual, same crew. Got my co-host. We'll edit out the co-host. All right, one of you fucks gotta go. Introduce yourself.
Oh, I thought you were gonna re-say it.
No, I'll just edit out the co-host.
What's up, y'all? This is Sam. Sorry for the little break. We'll be back and coming with y'all with some topics.
What's good, everybody? Razan here. Hope everybody's been chilling. Had a good New Year. Had a good Christmas. We really miss you guys. We're glad to be back.
Yes, happy holidays to everyone. As usual, you guys know, just a reminder, you can listen to us on Codify Live, iTunes, Google Play, iHeartRadio. We've got some merch on Codify Live. Please go get some merch. Everybody, please. Public sports announcement. Would love to see the Codify Live memorabilia out there. This week, we've got a pretty good week in sports. NFL's got their championship games coming up. Kyler Murray can't decide if he wants to be a professional baseball player or a professional football player, and Antonio Brown has thrown fits over the last couple of weeks and probably won't be a Steeler next year. So, without any further ado, let's just get right into it because these topics are good ones. If we don't want to go, let's go with the playoffs.
What's all that noise?
That was me moving papers.
Did somebody post a board just now?
Nah. No, I literally just moved papers.
Okay.
What game is first on Saturday? The Chiefs.
It's on Sunday.
Sunday, Chiefs.
Let's check.
Rams is first. Rams Saints is first.
All right, so we'll start there. On Sunday, the NFC Championship game. Sunday afternoon is Rams. The Rams at we're fucking it up. Fuck. Hold on. All right. This Sunday, the NFC Championship game. The Saints host the Rams in an exciting duel between Drew Brees and Jared Goff. I don't know about you guys, but I'm gonna love to see when Aaron Donald meets Drew Brees. I'm sure it's not the first, but I know Aaron Donald in a big game like this is gonna get his Brees. And the Rams defense is gonna have a hard time with the defense. So it's gonna be an exciting game on Sunday. And I'm not gonna lie, this is probably my favorite match. So I told you how I feel about it. I just can't wait. What about you guys?
Yeah, this is a rematch from a game earlier, and that game was a really, really good game. Uh, I think the biggest key in this game is Michael Thomas. Uh, Marcus Peters had a lot of problems with Michael Thomas last game. He cooked him really. Marcus Peters had no shot at covering Michael Thomas, and it was pretty evident early on. They would continuously target Marcus Peters, and after the game, Marcus Peters said all that stuff about Sean Payton, and they're going to come out strong. And I think knowing Sean Payton, knowing how aggressive he is, what he likes to do, they're going to throw the ball at Marcus Peters early and often. So the last time they played, Michael Thomas had 12 catches for 211 yards and a touchdown. That's a big boy stat line. That's not a stat line you see very often, especially against a corner like Marcus Peters, who has been very good early on in his career, but has really struggled this year. So if the Rams can really contain Michael Thomas, then they have a legitimate shot to win this game. Aaron Donald wasn't as active the first time they played either. They did a really good job of taking him out. But like we saw last week, they have other forces on this D-line, and Ndamukong Suh had the best game of the season against the Cowboys, and they're really talented offensive line. So if other players outside of their superstars can step up, they will be playing in the Super Bowl. But this is Drew Brees' last chance, I believe, to win a Super Bowl. We've talked about it before. If he wins one more, there's a legitimate argument of whether he's the best quarterback ever. I know Tom Brady has 5. He might even get 6 this year. But if Drew Brees gets that second ring, there's a legitimate argument to be made.
Yeah, so this is a rematch between two very good offenses that started the year, probably first and second in offensive wise besides the Chiefs. Since then, everyone has kind of died a little bit offensive wise, but I think it's going to be the same type of game, high scoring. But at the end of the day, it's going to depend on, defense is going to win this game. And the Rams defense has improved a lot since the last game. Most importantly, after all that you said, the first game, Aqib Talib was out, and he's going to be in this game, which is going to completely change the pass game for the Saints. Last time they were picking the Rams defense apart, targeting Marcus Peters, and that's just not going to be possible this time. So I think it's a different game, and because they have Aqib Talib back and Aaron Donald has been on an absolute tear lately that hadn't quite started yet the first time they met, I think the Rams are going to take this one.
Yeah, this Rams defense is definitely different than the first one, and I mean that in the highest compliment. Razan, you talked about Ndamukong Suh showing out last week, and we talked about weeks ago how he's not the same with Ndamukong Suh that he was maybe with the Lions, but signing like that is gonna pay dividends. And in the playoffs, Ndamukong Suh was maybe the best defensive lineman on the field. And that's impressive when you're playing with the Rams lineman like he does every week, and against the Cowboys defensive lineman who also has some studs. He was the best defensive lineman on the field, and that's a high remark.
Yeah,
I don't know if he'll have. That's really saying something. But this week, I don't know if he's going to be able to repeat that kind of effort, and I think I'm going to take the Saints. They can't guard Michael Thomas. Not that anybody really can, but the Saints know they can't guard Michael Thomas. The Saints know it, and the Rams know it. So I don't know. I don't think there's anything you can really do about it. He's just going to get his. I don't know if he's going to go for 200 again, but he's going to get his. And Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram tandem is going to get theirs as well. I think this Saints offense is just too high-powered, and they're too complete of a team. I'm picking the Saints for sure.
Yeah, I think we've seen all season that home field really matters. I know for that wild card, it was a little weird, but once you get to the teams, once you get to the talented teams and they have their buys and they're well rested, and you look at the 4 coaches that are in the NFC and AFC championships, these are some damn good coaches and extremely talented coaches. So you look at Sean Payton, Andy Reid, and Bill Belichick, and you can't really name three better head coaches in the past 15 years. Those are probably been the three best coaches. And then you look at Sean McVay, who's already being dubbed the next Bill Belichick or the next great head coach in this league. You're going to get teams who are ready to go out there and fucking play. Like, this scenario that the NFL has right now with these four teams, they could not have planned it better themselves, except maybe the Cowboys playing, just because I don't know why everybody seems to love the Cowboys. But other than that, this is the four best teams, the four highest scoring teams this season. All four teams are either the number one or the number two seed. So I'm super excited. I think the Saints are going to take this game, and mostly because they're playing at home.
Yeah, that is going to be interesting. So 2-1 going Saints. You know, that Marcus Peters interview, I watched again recently because I know they're playing next week. I can't wait to see his antics on Sunday too. I don't know if he's going to actually perform on the field, but there's no way that there's not a little extra flavor with Marcus Peters this week. And he's one known to bring a little extra onto the field, so I can't wait to watch. I'm not even gonna lie.
I want to see what Sean Payton does. Sean Payton does not give a fuck about.
I don't think he does anything
about mutual respect. I think he does a little. I think he goes after him pretty early. I think they'll take deep shots with Marcus Peters pretty early.
Yeah, I agree. Yes, I think Payton's gonna show his moves are gonna be on the field, 100%.
Yeah,
he probably will go at Marcus Peters
100%.
if they get up. Like if they get up by 13 late in the fourth, I wouldn't be shocked if they throw another pass at Marcus Peters just cause. No one's just fucking around putting it on Marcus Peters' head. I also think Marcus Peters, his aggression is going to be a little more outside of the field of play, and we'll see about that. That's going to be interesting. If he gets a drawing or goes over to the sideline, something a little extra for the fans, for the culture.
Yeah. If Sean Payton is smart, he makes his move on the field because Marcus Peters is liable to get burnt on any play.
that and there's no need for Marcus. There's no need for Sean Payton to do anything off the field. He's the head coach. He's the white guy. All you got to do is just do your job, and if you do it so well that you can beat up Mark Peters in the process, please do, and that's exactly what he's going to do. Marcus Peters, he's got a lot less power. He's going to do it a little differently. It's going to be fun. But Patriots Chiefs. All right. The next game of our doubleheader, Patriots at the Chiefs. This is the young gun, Patrick Mahomes, against the old man River, Tom Brady, who might actually be looking his age right about now, but I think that's probably a conversation for next year. This one's going to be old versus new. This is the cliche matchup that we kind of all love to see. Razan, you've been on Patrick Mahomes all year. You've been to Patrick Mahomes on the show. So here you go, man. Your man pulling it out this week?
Yeah, I remember when we did our podcast and we were predicting the records and stuff like that. I said the Chiefs would go 12-4 and Pat Mahomes would have a big year. I did not anticipate him having this big of a year, MVP year. I knew he would be. I knew he was extremely talented, and that he had all the capabilities. What he's done this year is out of this world. It's just his playground. Like when you're out there and the defense is out there, I don't care if you're at home, if you're in fucking London or Mexico, you're on Pat Mahomes' playground, and he does what he wants. And Bill Belichick is smart. He'll find ways to contain him. But we saw already that he can play in a shootout, and that was in Foxborough. Now they're playing at Arrowhead. And Andy Reid is a hell of a head coach. I want to see Big Red win. I want to see Pat Mahomes win. If Pat Mahomes wins, I think this will be the greatest quarterback season of all time. You look at Tom Brady in 2007 when he threw for 50 touchdowns, went 18-1. He lost in the Super Bowl. You look at what Peyton Manning did with 55 touchdowns, over 5,000 yards, got crushed in the Super Bowl by the Seattle Seahawks. this is the third time in NFL history that a quarterback's thrown for over 50 touchdowns, and it's only the second time that a quarterback has thrown for 50 touchdowns and 5,000 yards. So if Pat Mahomes can pull this off, you're about to see a 23-year-old have the greatest season in NFL history. And you guys already know I'm rooting for him. I have the Chiefs in this one. I think this is a passing of the torch. Just like you said, Alvin, it's a cliche game, and that's exactly what's going to happen. I think it's going to be a really fun game to watch, though.
Sam, you want to follow that?
I think you actually made a lot of fresh points that you haven't made yet about Pat Mahomes.
Right? I'm over here thinking the same thing, and I'm surprised because we talked about Patrick Mahomes way too much.
Real talk, I didn't think you could come with anything new.
Me either. Well done. I thought my head.
But yeah, I might have to agree with you. If he wins the Super Bowl, it might be the best quarterback season of all time. Looking past that, it is also a passing of the torch. If the Patriots lose to the Chiefs, I can see that symbolic, Brady's done, Mahomes is stepping in, taking over, the Chiefs are top seed now. I could also see that happening. Also another very good point. The problem is the Patriots are hot and the Chiefs are cold, and that's the only thing that worries me. Besides that, the Chiefs have home field. I think they're the better team.
Why do you think they're cold?
Because they started off 11-2 and finished 12-4, or just not as good.
I can see that. I definitely don't think the Chiefs have the same momentum that they had. Definitely not. Not even when they were undefeated. But
right.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Patriots are a higher point right now than the Chiefs.
I would agree. I think down the stretch they played some really good defenses, and it showed. Even though it's not like they were scoring 10, 15 points a game, it's just that they played the Ravens and the Chargers and the Seahawks. Two of those games were on the road. And then once they played at home again against the Raiders and the Colts, they put up 66 combined points to 16.
I mean,
so
you're right. That is a tough schedule, but the Patriots are also pretty tough. So I'm not fighting any. This will be is out of all those. I'm not putting any of that blame on the schedule. They cooled off a little, and that's fine because they were perfectly good enough. They still got first seed. But I'm just saying, as of right now, currently, the Patriots are a little bit hotter than the Chiefs, and that kind of worries me.
Sure. Yeah. I can see where you're going with that. I would be really concerned if the game was in Foxborough.
I don't know how to put the words in. Go ahead, Riz.
No, you got it.
All right. I don't know how to put it in the right words, Sam, but I feel the same way as you, in that the Patriots are kind of just hotter right now. And I don't know if that's I don't know if that's going to be the difference maker, because I think the Chiefs are the more talented team, but I think the Patriots have Tom Brady and Belichick. They've been here before. They've got everything else on their side, and at that point, it kind of evens out. Well, who's the harder team? It's the Patriots. Right now, it's the Patriots. Even with the Chiefs beating at home, it's still probably the Patriots. So, as hot as Mahomes' arm has been this year, and credit to you, because I didn't think Mahomes was going to be this good. I mean, nobody did, but even halfway through the season, I thought he would tail off. And like you said, he might be having the best quarterback season ever. So I was dead wrong on that one. But still, Belichick finds a way to scheme against these kind of things. And veteran coaches and veteran quarterbacks know how to beat this. I'm not going to say they've seen this before, because none of us have seen this before, but they've seen something like it. They played Brett Favre, which is kind of everything Mahomes wants to be, but just a little more athletic. They played against Brett Favre. They've seen all kinds of stuff like this. So at this point, at this stage, in this moment, give me the Patriots. Give me the Patriots. But the thing about it is, the saddest thing about it is, it's not going to have anything to do with passing the torch. Because this torch, as far as I'm concerned, this torch is already passed. This is just the official landmarking of the torch being passed. It's already passed. this is not Tom Brady's AFC anymore. It's Patrick Mahomes. It, it's already done, but I don't know if they're going to do it on the biggest stage. And even when they do it next year, it's still going to be Patrick Mahomes. And yeah. So this is going to be. I think this is going to be the tougher game. I think these teams are more evenly matched than the other game, but I think the other game is going to be a little bit more exciting. Just a little bit. So just to be clear, our Super Bowl matchups are: I got Saints and the Patriots. Sam, who you got?
I'm still going with the Chiefs, so I'll go Rams Chiefs.
I'm going Chiefs Saints. I'm taking. Should we also say who we're taking in the Super Bowl, or is that a different?
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, let's say that.
Either way, yeah, we can go for it because we're gonna end up saying it on another podcast regardless. But that's fine.
Yeah.
All right then.
I'll take the Chiefs.
All right,
my
Sam,
boy.
You got the Chiefs.
My boy.
I'm gonna assume your ugly ass is also taking the Chiefs.
I said it in the middle of the season, and I was partially joking. I had Pat Mahomes on my fantasy teams, and he was killing it. That I would buy a Pat Mahomes jersey, but after winning our league, and if he wins the Super Bowl, I'm definitely gonna get a jersey, like hands down.
Wow. I'm not even gonna like call you out on this, Razan. Not necessarily. This don't really have to make it onto the pod, but how y'all feel about wearing other teams' jerseys?
I can support another team's player.
Yeah, Pat Mahomes and Russell Wilson are maybe the only two jerseys I would wear, just because I like them as players so much.
Yeah. Actually, like I wanted to ask you, Razan, if you can get me a Saquon jersey, like when they do that jersey thing.
Yeah, I got you. I'll definitely look.
Okay.
I do like Saquon. I can't do the other jersey thing though. I can't.
Really?
I can't and I can't do it. I can't do it if it's in division. Like no matter how much I like somebody who's drafted by the Cowboys or Eagles or Redskins, I would never wear their jersey. But like players who I've watched in college, who like I've been extremely high on, I don't want to get their jersey.
I thought about Zeke for a while. The only way I'll do it in soccer is like international. Like I have a Salah jersey. I'm thinking about getting an Mbappe jersey, but I would never get an Mbappe PSG jersey.
Really?
Never.
And I wouldn't actually wear the jersey that much. I would probably hang it on my wall, like a nice frame.
Oh.
I definitely want to do that for my man cave one day.
Yeah. Last Friday was the first time I wore that Salah jersey.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. I don't.
You mentioned that you were gonna save it.
I thought about it. I was like, nah.
I didn't expect you to save it that long.
Let's do it. I thought about pulling it another night, but like literally at the last second, it was down to that and another shirt, and I just happened to go with the other one. That was the only other time I thought about pulling it out. That's it. But yeah, I can't do the other team jersey shit. And it's weird. What do you want to? Yeah, you want to go Kyler Murray or AB first?
Let's end with AB. I feel like that's such an interesting topic.
All right, cool. All right, so to switch gears just a little bit, we're kind of going to stay with it. Well, we might be staying with the NFL. It's kind of the future's kind of undecided. Heisman winner from Oklahoma, Kyler Murray, has recently declared for the NFL draft. As y'all know, there's been a lot of controversy or indecision about where he was going to go. The Oakland Athletics have already drafted him and signed him to a contract worth a little under $5 million. Not the contract, the signing bonus was worth a little under $5 million. And basically they said you can go play Oklahoma, but you have to pay us that money back if you decide to go pro. And if you decide to come play to the A's, then you just join our spring team this coming year. Well, Kyler Murray kind of said he's not doing that. He's going pro. We'll get to his little finesse thing, his little finesse scheme in a minute, but to give y'all a little insight about you know why he might be going to the NFL and not to the MLB. I don't know if you guys know this, but like the way the MLB, I don't even, it confused me as I was doing my research on it. The MLB contract system is so confusing with arbitrary, blah, 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 and all that other stuff. But how it basically lays out is that Kyler Murray, the minor league player, wasn't going to make big money until about 2022 or 2023. That's when he's like really looking at a payday. And realistically, he wasn't going to get to the MLB until about 2021. Like if he's on a normal kind of progression. And the article that I read also talked about his high school performance and how he really wasn't. It's not that he's not that good in baseball. He's really good in baseball, but he's more of a raw talent. And you guys know raw talents. Raw talents tend to take a little longer to develop. So we're looking at a really long process for Murray in the minor leagues, which is not a very fun and entertaining system. You know what I mean? So this decision wasn't really as cut and dry as I had immediately thought it out to be. I didn't know how grueling the minor leagues were. I didn't know his contract stipulations. I didn't know he wasn't going to really be a mega millionaire for another 3 years, 4 years. And to give you a little context, Lamar Jackson, last pick of the first round, also got around a $5 million signing bonus and made money on top of that right now. And his next contract is probably going to be within 4 or 5 years, around the same time. So I don't know. But one of them you get to play in the NFL, and one of them you get to play in the minors. So,
well, what about his signing bonus? Like, doesn't he already have like a pretty large signing bonus from
$4.7 million
from the A's?
4.7.
Yeah. And he has to return that. So like that's pretty big money right there. I mean,
but he's gonna make it right back in the draft.
Right.
Easily.
Well, wasn't he negotiating? He was also negotiating with the A's for a larger signing bonus, right? Like, if you give the number reported was $15 million, and then soon after they said that was really high. It was probably somewhere between $8 to $10 million. I mean, like if he can secure that type of capital or that type of money from the A's, I think it becomes a really hard choice.
I don't think it's really a hard choice.
Hold on. That deal's expired. That deal was like there was a deadline on that deal. It was the day of, or he couldn't declare for the draft. But once he made that decision, I think he's made the decision to go pro, and those negotiations are over. That deal that he was trying to charge a higher price to play baseball, and the A's weren't going for it. Which that's the finesse I alluded to earlier. That may be the best finesse in pro sports I've ever seen. Like that's genius. Yeah. Few people would be able to pull it off, but that's like Eli Manning. Like that's those you were thinking like whoever's idea that was on point, and I'm just kind of depressed it didn't work out. Like that would have been an ultimate finesse. Get a double, maybe even triple your money just to go play baseball. Yeah, but go ahead, Sam.
Yeah. So watching his, just interviews earlier in the season, like before he won Heisman or anything, it seemed like he had already made up his mind that he was going to go play baseball. And I really didn't think that there was any chance. I didn't expect him to declare for the draft. I didn't expect him to be entering. I didn't expect him to, throw away the baseball money. And I think a lot of this is like selfishly pushed on him by the media. He's been such an amazing football player. We got hungry and we want more. We want to see him in the NFL, and I don't think it's in his best interest. I think he knows that because he's said multiple times he wants to play baseball. I think that this is just completely media fed. Like they've you know, talked so much about him going to the league that now he just decided to enter the draft, and like this is where we are now. But I don't think it's in his best interest. I think the better choice is baseball. The more profitable choice is baseball. The safer choice is baseball, and probably the more enjoyable choice for him is baseball.
Yeah. I have so many different feelings about this. We talked about it a while ago. We were just texting and we said, will he make it in the NFL? And Alvin and I both said no really quickly because of his size. Like he's 5'10", which probably means he's 5'9", 5'9.5". He weighs around 190. Let me double check on that. I don't want to be wrong. He's 5'11". He's listed at 5'11", 194. I doubt he's 5'11". He does not look 5'11" from any angle. So he's probably, if he's listed at 5'11", he's probably 5'10", weighs 190, 194. That's not quarterback material. If you watch that Alabama game, there's some hits he took that it took him a while to get back up from. And that's going to be every fucking play in the NFL. The NFL is not easy to play in, especially not when you're freaking 194, 5'10", 194. It's just not realistic. He needs to put on at least 20 pounds to even be considered, for me, a first-round pick. If he can't hit the weight room, and it happens, you see it happen all the time. Like you see linebackers who don't really have a position. They might have to play safety, or a safety might have to play linebacker, and they put on weight or lose weight relatively quickly depending on where they want to be drafted. He has pretty good arm strength. He has pretty good accuracy. He's a dynamic playmaker. He's won the Heisman. He was drafted in the first round in MLB. He's clearly a freak athlete. But he already has guaranteed money. The only way, and I know you guys might think I'm saying this because it's the Giants, but the best scenario for him is to be drafted at number 6 by the New York Giants, which also might be the worst scenario for the New York Giants. Getting drafted that high would guarantee him an exuberant amount of guaranteed money. It would also put him in the largest media market there is in the National Football League, which means that he's already getting endorsements that he wouldn't get if he were drafted anywhere else. He also gets to play with Saquon Barkley and Odell Beckham, which makes his fame go up that much quicker. I allude to this with Sterling Shepard. Sterling Shepard in any other team and any other at playing for any other team would not be getting the endorsement deals he does. I see Sterling Shepard relatively often in random commercials that I wouldn't see him in before. And you guys know Eli Manning is in almost every freaking commercial you watch regarding sports. Gatorade, Toyota, DirecTV, whatever you want to call it. That would be for Kyler Murray. And he would bank off of it. At the end of the day, though, I think the safest and the smartest choice for him is to definitely go baseball. Like, after saying all that, Deion Sanders, who's played both sports, told him, pick up the bat and don't look back. We can't attest to that. We weren't nearly as athletic as Kyler Murray or Deion Sanders. And it sucks that he can't play both sports. I would not draft a quarterback in the first round if he was going to go play another sport. Any other position, maybe, but definitely not at quarterback. I also think it adds more pressure on him. So, Kyler Murray, I think you're extremely talented, but man, I would stick to baseball if I were you. If he comes to the NFL Combine and weighs somewhere between 215 and 218, I might take you more seriously. But he needs to put on that weight.
Alvin.
Hello. This motherfucker out there.
I don't know.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Can you hear me now? All right, my bad. I muted it on accident. All right. Here's how I'm looking at it. If I were Kyler Murray, and I hadn't considered that endorsement deal, because that's that endorsement idea. That's different. If you got drafted by the Giants, which is a decent possibility, I think he will be a first round pick easily. I think he'll go pretty high too, because this is a weak quarterback draft, And Dwayne Haskins is kind of the best option. Heisman winner, comes from the same place as Baker Mayfield, both undersized, both a little athletic. Kyler Murray being really athletic, but kind of similar, not similar builds. I think Baker Mayfield's a little bigger, but similar idea, similar playbook. All of it's the same. I would look at that. I would look at the fact that for the next 3 years, I'm gonna be playing big baseball all over the country. Really bad conditions. I don't want to do minor league baseball if I don't have to. Not talking about a major payday outside of my signing bonus for another 4 or 5 years. And I am the Heisman quarterback winner of college football. That train he just rode from, oh, I'll probably play baseball, to actually playing for Oklahoma and then winning the Heisman, the fame, all of the attention, if you're a guy that kind of likes it, if that's something you want to do in sports, you can find that in football. Baseball is going to be much harder, and it's not going to be for another 6 years. You're not going to be a household name in baseball for another 4 years. Whether he finds, let's say,
If
he
ever.
finds baseball and football, if ever, and consider that I'm sure I looked at his high school stats in baseball. They weren't particularly good. They're pretty good for high school baseball, but you're not assuming, oh, he's going first round MLB. He was picked first round MLB because of his raw athletic tools. Also, he's a decent good baseball player, but his tools are out of the world. That's a high bust rate. And if you're honest with yourself, which Mary is, that's a high bust rate. Which means if you bust in the minors, that's it. There's no that's it. You just never make it to the big league. In the NFL, you bust in your first 2 seasons, you're still an NFL quarterback making NFL money. Your name's still out there. You can bounce back. You're going to be a high pick. You're going to get multiple chances. I don't know. The NFL, safety-wise, is not the best pick. Probably long money-wise, not the best pick. But if you were to look at how good he is in sports and the chances of him being really good in one, I think I might take my chances with football. I really think I might. I'm a quarterback. I'm the most protected guy on the field. Yes, I'm a runner, but I'm also still the most protected guy on the field. Yeah, I might take the football. I really might. And 2 weeks ago, it was a no-brainer for me, go baseball. But I get the idea now. I really get it.
Yeah.
Do you think he wants to be a household name that bad?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
I think he does.
Why not? I think he does too, but I'm not even gonna I don't want to judge him, but maybe, but also kind of why not? Who doesn't? There's a select few people who don't want to be a household name. The rest of us kind of like it. At the very least, we just like the idea.
I feel like he almost is already a household name. Among people who watch sports, he's a household name already. Like with this whole saga that's going on, MLB, NFL, MLB, NFL. Like I said, if he goes to the combine, maybe I was a little bit exaggerative with 215 to 218, but definitely 210. Like I can't have my quarterback weighing less than that. And if he can put on a show at the combine and everyone is blown away by him, I guarantee he goes top 10. Without a doubt in my mind, he will go top 10.
I don't think the combine has much effect on his draft stock because we know that he's an athletic, god.
Well, he's going to test out. It'll be his first true weigh-in, and what NFL will also look at, like we've seen with, we saw it with Josh Rosen last year, is do you actually want to play football? Or are you doing it for the spotlight? Are you doing it for the money? And that's the question. Those are the questions he'll have to answer with GMs, and that's why I'm saying it's more a mental test and verbal test than I don't care about his throws. Like we've seen him put on a show against some of the best teams in the nation. What I care about is how he responds to these GMs and scouts when they're asking him questions about which sport he loves more, because he is going to have to answer that. We've heard crazy ass fucking questions that are asked in NFL interviews. Mm-hmm. This isn't going to be any different. Like they're going to ask him they're going to try to dig deep and find out exactly what it is that he wants to do. And if GMs if they feel like he doesn't really want to play football that bad, he's not going to get drafted that high. But if he can knock those, if he can knock these interviews out of the park, and to me, if he can weigh in around 210, he will be a top 10 pick. And honestly, if he could do both of those things, I would not mind the Giants risking him at number 6.
Wow.
We've come a long way. I think if I'm not mistaken, 10 minutes ago you were down for not drafting him.
I was, but like those are the important things to me, and like I don't know if like I don't believe in all those things happening. That's my biggest thing is like I feel like he loves baseball, and I know I've seen reports that say he loves football more, but like if he really did, then he would have just gone for it. You know what I mean? Like he would have been like, all right, I'm doing the NFL draft. He wouldn't have taken his time. He wouldn't have gone to the A's.
I don't
like
know.
he's putting him.
They just gave
he's
him
putting
money.
himself
Like
Yeah,
he's gonna consider
the
it because
reports
they give
I
you
saw,
money.
The reports
I hate
I
baseball.
saw, he likes
I would never
baseball
play.
more.
But if the A's offer me $5 million right out of high school, I'm considering it. At the very least, I'm considering whatever I wanted to do. That's now an option, and
Right.
so I don't think
But
his
at this
love for
point-
baseball really. Yeah, at this point, now we can see. But I think before now, he's never had to make a decision, a real decision, and now he truly does. So we're gonna see what his love for it either way. But throwing $5 million at the kid, regardless of what you thought, like I'm now considering playing baseball.
Yeah, we'll see what
Yeah,
happens.
but
Man.
you're getting paid either way now, so just pick what you love more.
Yeah.
Exactly. So now we're really gonna see what's good, because if I'm not mistaken, spring training starts February 15th, and the combine starts March 15th. So you can't do both, and it's what you got. What you gonna do? I hadn't even considered the mental part about the combine. You're right. His questions are gonna be out of this world. Out of this world.
Yeah, like man,
Yeah.
I remember Josh Rosen last year, and that's why he wasn't drafted higher. Is that they felt like he was just kind of doing it because the football is what his whole life has been about, and not necessarily because he loves the game. And I don't know what the hell they're gonna ask him. I wish I knew what they would ask him, but it'll be fun to see what, because like those questions usually end up leaking. Like someone says, like, oh, they asked me this, or this is how Kyler Murray responded. It just depends. And I know, like, you can already tell once he's at the combine, he will be the talk of the combine.
Yes, he will. And so he thought he was in the spotlight before. It's only going to grow bigger from here.
Oh, yeah. No doubt.
Wow. Ooh. But moving on to another guy who loves the spotlight. Oh, man. We've got another wide receiver diva. Surprise, surprise. It just so happens that this one resides in Pittsburgh, and his name's Antonio Brown. I know you guys have heard by now. He basically skipped Week 17 game, a must-win game for the Steelers. We ended up winning, but not making the playoffs because of some extra nonsense, yada, yada, yada. But we won that game. Antonio Brown came for the first half and then left. Art Rooney says they haven't spoken to Brown since before the game, because the problem was Antonio Brown didn't tell anybody he wasn't going to play, didn't tell people he was leaving. He just did his own thing and hasn't spoken to anybody since. So, of course, the Steelers are considering trading him. They've talked about that multiple times. They're looking for a trade. They're actively trying to trade him. He hasn't been traded, but today Art Rooney came out and had some rather interesting comments. He said that he's not closing the door on Antonio Brown being a Steeler, but basically Antonio Brown would have to, show some remorse, apology, or something. And Art Rooney doesn't believe that's going to happen. So we're looking at other options. And, I can't remember his other comment. That was also kind of interesting. Damn, can't remember. But also Art Rooney spoke on how he respected Antonio Brown's game and how much he's brought to the Steelers. And that will be considered when they're talking about trading him. So basically, Antonio Brown's been so good that he's kind of bought himself enough credit that at the end of the day, he might still be a Steeler next year. And kind of just because I've been talking for a while, I'm going to let you guys give you a little take on what y'all think. One, what do you think of Antonio Brown's actions? And on a scale of like 1 to 10, how bad would you trade him? And what are the odds he's a Steeler next year?
Dan, you want to go ahead?
Yeah. So wait. So what was the questions?
Before you do that, let me get those cap numbers. Let me because I think that'll do a lot with the percentages and shit.
Yeah. And so.
All right. So. Go ahead.
Question.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, Razan, read the cap numbers, and then you can just go into your discussion. You know what I mean?
Okay. All right.
But the questions are: what do you think of his actions, and how hard would you try to trade him, and what are the odds he's a Steeler next year?
Okay. Am I going first or Razan?
Razan, definitely hit us with the cap numbers. You can decide if you want to go first or not, but definitely hit us with the cap.
You could go first, Sam, but let me say the cap numbers first.
Okay.
All right. So before Sam answers the question, let me just tell you guys that if the Steelers release or trade Antonio Brown, they're going to have $21.12 million of dead cap, which means that there's literally just money sitting there that's not being used, but it's counting against the Steelers' cap space. The cap space next year is supposed to be around $190 million. So Antonio Brown, by not even being on the Steelers roster, is taking over 10% of that. The Steelers have always been in a weird salary cap situation, so they've moved money around in prorated signing bonuses, which has put them in this predicament. But the date that we need to look at as the most important is March 17th. Antonio Brown is due $2.5 million on March 17th. My assumption is that he will be moved before this deadline, before this so-called deadline. They haven't come out and said it, obviously, but you're not going to pay a guy $2.5 million and then trade him. You're going to do it before that. So, I'm assuming right after the new league year, or not even after the new league year, after the Super Bowl, I'm assuming teams are really going to get serious about Antonio Brown. But with that being said, Sam, does that change your perspective on the questions after you answer them?
Well, the money situation doesn't, because we know Antonio Brown was due money. He's the top 3 receiver in the league. He's going to get paid no matter what. And I think the $21 million will count against the Steelers, but whatever team he goes to will be paying $13 a year, I believe. Do you know if that's right?
Yeah, so that's his cash that he's going to be getting.
Right. So that's what it's. If I'm a team, I'm happy paying $13 million for Antonio Brown a year right now. But besides that, in terms of his actions, I think this is just the culminating point of years and years of this Steelers organization just not functioning correctly. Just this year alone, it's been so much stuff. Le'Veon Bell, Antonio Brown, Mike Tomlin, everyone should be on the hot seat right now. It's constant, just, I don't know what you want to call it.
Bullshit is what I would fucking call it.
Yeah, bullshit. Just, this is a team of selfish guys, and I don't think you can have a winning organization, stay together for long if guys just think about themselves. Earlier this year, Ben Roethlisberger, in a post-game interview, threw Juju, threw Antonio Brown, both of them under the bus over simple plays that could have been either one of their sides or either one of their faults. But if you're the leader of a team, you don't throw other guys on your team under the bus. That's just not something a leader does. Le'Veon Bell with his whole distraction throughout the year. And now Antonio Brown, this team is just constantly full of distractions. And I don't think dealing Antonio Brown away is going to solve that problem, because there's still plenty of other distractions in the locker room. I think the only way to solve this problem would be to wait a few years, get rid of Antonio Brown, let Big Ben retire, be rid of Le'Veon next year, and get a new coach. And that's how you just restart fresh as an organization. Because with the core group of guys that you have right now, it's not going to cut it. We've been here for almost 10 years now. You won a few Super Bowls in the early 2010s, but you've been to the championship game a few years in a row, and you keep coming up short It's time to restart as an organization.
Yeah. His actions.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Hello.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Go ahead. His
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. His Antonio Brown's actions are something that I would not want on my football team. And like you said, Sam, it's not just him though. It's Big Ben. It's Le'Veon. It's Mike Tomlin. It's a culmination of things that have just been happening. And really, to me, I know he's a diva. I know he's a wide receiver, but Big Ben is just as big of a problem. Like, he wants to come out and say that Le'Veon's situation was a huge distraction. Dude, what about your distraction that you've caused every single year, being a diva, talking about retirement, throwing your OC under the bus last year, throwing your receivers under the bus, throwing play calling under the bus, doing whatever it is to not take blame on yourself as a Super Bowl winning quarterback, as a guy who's been in this league for over 15 years. But looking at Antonio Brown's situation, this is just who he is. The argument was with Big Ben. Big Ben is a trash talker. They have that type of relationship. AB even once said that a relationship is like Wi-Fi. It's always connected, but it's not always there. And I thought that was a great analogy to use for their relationship. It seems like most people have that type of relationship with Big Ben. But at the end of the day, Antonio Brown is a wide receiver. He's a diva. Missing the game is my biggest issue. You throwing your temper tantrums and doing all that extra shit isn't my problem. You literally not showing up for your brothers, for your team, in one of the most important games of that season, in the most important game for your team in that year, and you not showing up tells me about your character. It tells me about how much you love the game. It tells me about a lot more than just how good you are on the football field. And if I were a team, I would not go after Antonio Brown unless I have a coach who could really handle him. And the only coach I could really think of is fucking Bill Belichick. And there's no way in hell the Steelers are trading Antonio Brown to the Patriots. So I think it's going to be a really interesting situation. I know that the 49ers are all into him. It makes sense. As you alluded to, Sam, the team would have to pay him in cash less than $13 million. And, it's a tricky situation. I personally would not want him on my team. I think there's probably a 10% chance that he's still on the Steelers, just because I think you find ways to make these things better. But when the owner comes out and says there's a good chance he won't be there, it means you probably won't be there. It just sucks because I think AB's talented as hell. Everyone's just AB's talented as hell. But it just goes to show, man, that like money changes people. He's definitely changed. And him sitting on Twitter going after Bruce Arians and Emmanuel Sanders and Ryan Clark, like, what's the need for that? You're not making anything better for yourself. You're not helping your situation at all. You just look like you have Twitter fingers when you're the one in the wrong. You fucked up. Admit it. Move on. If you want to leave the Steelers, leave them. But get off Twitter and stop talking about this damn interview that you won't release with James Harrison. If you're going to do it, do it. If you're not, then stop freaking talking about it. Like, he's making it worse for himself and building it up and up and up and up. I just kind of want it all to end. Wherever he ends up, it'll be fun to watch him because he's a really talented player. But there's zero chance that I would want him on my team, especially with Odell. What the fuck?
Okay, that was a lot. I think you guys are right about a lot of it. But I think, Sam, you're definitely right that Antonio Brown is not removing Antonio Brown from the situation does not solve the problem. I think the problem is actually Mike Tomlin. I think his coaching style, his players coach mantra has gone a little too far. It's just that simple. It's gone too far. So not to say that player coaches don't work, because there are a bunch of them that do work. It's just sometimes when they get out of hand, it's really hard to dial it back because that's not what they do. So just start fresh. No disrespect to Mike Tomlin, but at this moment you're just not the right coach for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Bring in somebody else. Get to start this culture, to revive this culture all over again. But with that being said, that shit Antonio Brown pulled week 17, you have to go. I frankly don't give a shit who you are. If Tom Brady pulls some shit like that, he also would have to go. Aaron Rodgers, it doesn't matter. You, as a professional, you do not have the option to show up for work. That's just not it. You you go. You're under contract. You're paid to show up. You go to work. For whatever reason, if you can't go to work, you call your boss and tell him that. He did neither. Therefore, you're fired. Unfortunately, it's the NFL, so you can't. I mean, you can really fire him, but there's no need for that. Trade him. I would trade him to whoever would have him. But like you said on that deadline, if it's either pay Antonio Brown or pay Antonio Brown, he's on your team, or let him go for nothing, I'm letting him go for nothing because you cannot have that on the team. That's cancer. All that and the crazy thing is, it's built to this, but to kind of put all the other stuff in this category is really disrespectful to all that other stuff. That other stuff is kind of off the field, and the Pittsburgh Steelers do as well as any team in the league of handling distractions. We want to talk about a media fiasco. Distractions is a media thing. If as a team, if you have a grounding in who y'all are, all the media distractions are nothing, regardless of who it is, regardless of what it is. It's nothing. You're focused on a central mission and a central goal. If you can block out that noise, you can block out that noise. The Steelers, for whatever reason, have showed time and time again that they are willing to make distractions, but also willing to block out that noise, regardless of who shows up on Sunday. I'm not going to say the Steelers play their best because they absolutely don't, but it's not timed with the distractions. It's generally timed with, if we're playing a shitty opponent, we play like shit. If we're playing a good opponent, we play well. It has nothing to do with whether or not Le'Veon Bell shows up, or if Ben Roethlisberger threw somebody on the bus, or if our linemen decided that they are giving up on it. Like Le'Veon Bell, nothing matters except who we seem to be playing, which is also a culture thing from Mike Tomlin. So either way, Antonio Brown has to go. This is just not something you can tolerate as a Pittsburgh Steelers organization. And I love Antonio. I loved Antonio Brown. I had the utmost respect for him. Little guy who ate every single game, regardless. For a 5-year stretch, he's the best receiver in the history of football. That's an impressive feat, regardless. But at this point, I kind of have no respect for the player himself, because when we needed you, you didn't show up and didn't care about anybody but yourself.
Didn't fucking show up.
You didn't care about anybody but Antonio Brown. And which is shown when you look back on all the other past, it's pretty clear that Antonio Brown doesn't care about anybody but Antonio Brown. Except when it was time to lace him up, it was the Steelers. Antonio Brown got his and he made sure he got his, but for the Steelers. He didn't do that in week 17, and that's when it becomes intolerable. Intolerable. So as far as I'm concerned, there's literally nothing Antonio Brown could do for me that I would say bring him back. Absolutely not. You couldn't even work for free as a Pittsburgh Steeler, in my opinion. As an owner, I would not allow you to work for free. You have to go play somebody else or play nowhere next year. You're not a Pittsburgh Steeler. You can't refocus. And this is a distraction that I don't think any team, no matter how strong, can put behind them. You gave up on me. And as a player, my brother next to me gave up on, and more than any other American sport, major American sport, it's about the guy next to you and whether or not he's willing to do whatever it takes to get the W. He's got to put his body on the line, and Antonio Brown not about that shit. So you got to go. It's that simple. And if I'm another team, I might take a chance on him. Depending on where I'm at and what coach I have, the kind of locker room presence that I have, I might take a chance on him. But I'm not paying him $13 million necessarily. Definitely not paying him the money the Steelers owe him. There's no chance he's seeing that. I'd probably pay him like 10. If I am the Patriots, I would take a chance. If I'm the Patriots, why not? We already took Josh Gordon. It's a totally different situation, but as far as risky, we already took Josh Gordon. Take a shot at Antonio Brown. If I'm the Jaguars, nah, never mind. Their culture's already on the brink of disaster.
Literally, the only team that I could see him going to is the Patriots in regards to his attitude and in regards to who Bill Belichick is and how they just seem to get trouble boys. What's also
Saints.
important. Saints, yeah, I could see the Saints too. I could see the Chiefs too. Like these teams that are in the NFC Championship and AFC Championship, it's because their head coaches and their head coaches just are players that wouldn't mind dealing with shit like that. But in
I don't think they would. Like, I think Antonio Brown, if you're gonna sign Antonio Brown, all that other shit has to stop.
Yeah,
I think
for sure.
Antonio Brown becomes less of a problem in a new locker room.
I don't think.
Hope so.
Yeah, I hope so, but I don't think that's gonna be because of Antonio Brown. I think it's because the team says we're not doing that this shit. Like, you're not gonna do that here. I think if they give Antonio Brown a chance, I think he's the same Antonio Brown. I don't think he can help himself.
I also think Mike Tomlin has to go. I think Mike Tomlin
gotta go.
Shouldn't be the head coach.
Yeah, definitely.
I've said it before. I'll say it again. I think the Steelers are one of the most disappointing teams of this decade. I think they've had magnitude amount of talent. No, it's true. There's no team outside of this. Yes, it is. Outside of the Patriots, there has been no team that has had the type of talented roster consistently game in and game out that the Steelers have had. There has been no team that has had the defense that the Steelers have had, and there's no team that has had the offense that the Steelers have had. They've had
these disappointing years that you're talking about, these disappointing years, they've been disappointing because our defense sucked. Like, we had a really good defense, and when that started to die off, our play started to die off, and then we got Le'Veon Bell.
2 years. It was literally 2 years.
No, it was not 2 years. It was much longer than that when our defense was really bad. The last 2 years has pretty much been the only time it's been any good. Other years it's been average or really bad. Since we had Le'Veon Bell, it's been really bad.
Starting since this decade started, you guys have had 2010, I'm pretty sure it was the number one defense. 2011 was the number one defense. And
I'd give you that.
2012 was like the number 6 defense. And it
probably
started going on.
Probably for like 2013, 2014. From 14 to
and then
16,
2 years, and we're in
they were so
right
bad.
Now.
Yeah, but like you're talking about, we're so talented.
2 years after that. You just said
but
3 years,
also
2 years.
2 years.
It's another
those. But what I'm saying is those years were the years in which we truly disappointed. And this year, the years that we truly disappointed. Like, and not even disappointed in terms of such a talented team, because we weren't. We just looked talented because we had the best receiver and the best running back in football, and Ben Roethlisberger. Our defense was shit. And now, looking back on it, we forget how bad that defense was. But when we were living at 112 and we were talking about those, there were bad defenses. Really bad, and we knew it. We would talk about how AJ Green going to torch the Steelers every single week because we couldn't stop anybody. So that's something like disappointment is fine, except when you look at that in context, we weren't that good those years. Some of those years we were not that good. Years that we were good, we competed, got the AFC championships. Yeah, we didn't win a Super Bowl. I will give you that. But the fact that we didn't win a Super Bowl doesn't make us the most disappointing team in the league. When we're in AFC championships, we're competing for playoffs. The Cowboys haven't won a Super Bowl.
And they haven't been they were one of the worst teams in the league for like.
Okay, but so what you're telling me is that the Cowboys not winning the Super Bowl, like, that's a more disappointing team than the Steelers off rip. Simply off rip. That's a more disappointing team.
Definitely.
You're killing me. You're killing me. You're killing me. And I would also I'm not saying that the Steelers have performed as well as I would hope. No. But what I'm saying is our talent, with the talent that we had, the years that we were talented, we did well. Except for maybe this year. And we underperformed this year. We were much better than how we finished this year. But the years in which we were bad, our defense was bad. Not because we didn't give a shit. We weren't the Jaguars. We were just a bad defense. We didn't have anybody.
I think y'all are both making decent points, but the Steelers should have been in a few more Super Bowls.
But we've run into buzzsaws like the New England Patriots. I hear you, except when you play the New England Patriots,
that's what makes y'all disappointed.
Disappointing that we lose to the best quarterback of all time? Fine. Have at it. Fair. Have at it. Don't call us disappointing 28-3. Like, come on. We throwing stones in a glass house at this point. Because the way I see it, getting to the AFC Championship and running into Tom Brady, not to say it's the best result, but that's pretty good. On no day am I calling that disappointed, especially when the Patriots were better teams.
How many times did it happen, though?
How many times did we run into the Patriots in the AFC Championship?
Yes.
I know that off the top, I don't know if it's AFC Championship. I know one of them was AFC Championship, and the other was
in
divisional
round. In the playoffs period. It happened 3 times at least.
That we ran into the Patriots.
Yeah.
I would agree. And easily
So
2 of those
that
times,
right there
they're a
is
better
the
team.
disappointment. The fact that
We
each
lose
and every
into a better
time
team,
you get this far and you can't get past them. Like, y'all
lose
should
to a
have
better
been
team.
to a Super Bowl in the recent years that we're
Let me
talking
know
about that y'all were
what's
good.
disappointing.
But you
Let
haven't.
me know what's disappointing about losing to a better team. Please let me know.
Not being the better team.
Okay, fine, but call it what it is.
That
Then
you
we
guys
suck.
had.
But we weren't the better team, so it's not disappointing. We just weren't as good as the other team. That's all I'm saying. For the last decade, I would agree. We haven't been as good as the best team in the league every single year. True. We haven't been disappointing. No, we've just been. Some years we've been Most years we've been pretty damn good. Most years we finished pretty damn good. We just lost to a damn good team. That's just is what it is. What you want us to do?
My thing with the Steelers at the end of the day, when I look at teams from this past decade and teams who would consistently be in conversation about the Super Bowl, it's not like it's 10 teams that we talk about every year. It's usually 4 to 6 teams. The Steelers, to me, were always in that conversation no matter what. They were one of the really consistently, again, in the AFC, outside of the Patriots, who I could think about the most being in that conversation. It was, and maybe the Colts and the Broncos when they had Peyton Manning. Outside of that, I can't really think of anybody. And for that reason, that's why they're one of the most disappointing teams to me in this decade. It's not like they haven't gone to the playoffs. They have, and I get that. And that's a great feat to have. But I expect you to win. I expect you to be more consistent, especially with the records they have. They're one of the most winning teams of the past decade. Haven't had a losing record.
And we have yet to have a number 1 seed. We've all, at the very bare minimum, we've been number 2. Most years we've been 3 or 4. So you're telling me the 3 or 4 seed doesn't win the Super Bowl, and that's disappointing to you guys? Even if it happens 10 years in a row, that's disappointing to you guys.
You're talking about record.
Okay.
I'm talking about beginning of the year. What I expect teams to do.
I hear what you're saying. Who else is in that conversation? The Patriots. And they just so happen to win them, I agree. But if the Patriots are winning them, then we kind of can't. And on no single year can you say the Steelers were better than the Patriots. Before the season or during the season, they've been a better team than us for most of the decade. And that's what happens sometimes when you play with GOATs. They're better than you. I'm not ready to call that disappointing. If you want to call that disappointing,
I've expected
fine.
more from the Steelers.
It just feels a little lazy.
You might not. I think they've been tremendously disappointing. And I'm still gonna stick by it no matter what. Like, at the end of the day, they didn't do anything in the past 10. Shouldn't say 10. Past 9 years, past 9 seasons, they haven't done shit. They've had great records. They've gotten to the conference championship. They've been number 2 seed multiple times. It's like, what more do you want? You know what I mean? Like, even last year, losing to the Jaguars, huge disappointment. The Jaguars weren't the better team.
I would give you that one. I'll give you that one. That's fine. Jaguars were not the better team. Yep, got to the playoffs, but I won't. But again, what I won't say is that was last year without Ryan Shazier. What do? They ran the ball all over a bad defense. That happens sometimes. The defense was not good. It just had Ryan Shazier to plug so many holes. We lose them week 14, 15. We run into one of the best running teams in the NFL. They run all over us. Shocker. Played them a tough game and they beat us. They go on and then play the Patriots in a tough game and lose to the Patriots. I'm not saying we outperformed anybody, but what I am saying is that we were definitely good enough to win a Super Bowl. I mean, not to win a Super Bowl. Well, yeah, to win a Super Bowl, but to also not be considered the most disappointing team of a decade. That's a really big statement, especially when you come from teams that have very similar stories to ours. And we were with better teams, honestly, frankly, with better teams.
What other team? All right, name me another team. Name me another team in the NFL that had as a Super Bowl winning quarterback, two of the best skill position players, that had a Super Bowl winning head coach, that had a tremendous defense for a better half
tremendous.
Of the decade.
Relax. Not tremendous. Even now that defense isn't tremendous.
It was a top 5 defense this year.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but we both
What
look at
more
that
do you-
defense. We both know enough football to know that this defense is not that good. It's good. It's really young and growing. It's not that good. And this is the best defense we've had in the last 6-7 years. Come on, bro. For 3-4 years, that defense is shit, and you wonder why the team doesn't win Super Bowls. Not even just like make the playoffs or not even win a division.
The Patriots don't always have a great defense. The Patriots' defense is usually ranked outside.
They got Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. Yes, they overperformed. The Patriots have been amazing for the last decade. We would agree on that. That doesn't make the Steelers disappointing for the last decade. They've just been amazing.
You're making it all about defense when you're acting like you have to have the perfect team to win when you don't. No, you perfect team has won the championship. Yes. The fucking Eagles won with a backup quarterback last year.
I'm not saying you need the perfect anything to win a championship, but what I am saying is when you are not good on one side of the field, it does greatly decrease your chance of realistically winning a Super Bowl. Not to say that you can't overcome it, but real talk, there are not that many one-sided teams that win Super Bowls. That's just not a common feat. A decent amount of them kind of get there, but they tend to not win it. That's just it. They just don't win it. So it's like, come on, bro. Come on, bro. That's just nah. I'm not gonna just let you come out here on PSA and tell our fans that the Steelers are the most disappointing team. They're really not.
Still standing by.
They're really not, bro.
I'm still standing by it.
You can stand by it if you want to.
Still standing by it. They're still disappointing as fuck to me. Looking at I'm looking at their record the last 10 years. Looking at their defensive rank, their offensive should have fucking at least contended more, be more consistent. Making one AFC championship is terrible.
What?
Especially the records that they have.
Okay.
One AFC championship.
Yeah, I thought it was more than that.
No, we've got one AFC championship. We won the division in the last 10 years.
Damn.
We've won it 1, 2, 3, 4 times in the last 10 years. There's a gap between 2010 and 2014. Pretty sure the Patriots, the Ravens are really good those years. Not all of them though.
Yeah, they might have won the Super Bowl one of the years.
Yeah, which I mean, what you want us to do, bro? Like, in those Patriots, the Ravens teams were better than us. That was just a better team than us. Well-built, all-around team. Good defense, really good defense, and a decent offense. They beat us. All right. All right, man. I'm sorry that we haven't been able to stop Gronk. No one can.
It's disappointing.
He's killed us. And this year, when we stopped him, we beat
him. I also think he's probably done playing football.
Yeah, I don't know if he's done playing football. Maybe you guys can win. He's done being effective. I think he's done being effective. And you know what's crazy? This is not even going to pop, but you know what's fucking crazy? Last year, the year we played the Jaguars, the game we're playing the Patriots in like week 16, and Jesse James has that play, the catch, where they don't call it a catch, and it's not a touchdown.
Yeah.
If he scores a touchdown, we win that game. We're the number 2 seed, I believe. Patriots drop down. We get home field throughout the playoffs. We don't even have to see the Jags.
Yeah.
We'd have had to see the Patriots in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, y'all end up number 1 seed.
Yeah, bro. Like, and it's little shit like that that's completely derailed our season. Some bullshit catch rule. Bad injuries at the wrong time. A couple of those years, Le'Veon Bell or Antonio Brown's not hurt. We had to play the Denver Broncos and the divisional round without Le'Veon Bell. Without Le'Veon Bell, our backup running back, and Antonio Brown. I don't even remember who our backup running back was because he was trash. But it might have been D'Angelo Williams. He gets hurt also. Toussaint gets in the game. We're about to win the game. Last 2.5 minutes, we're on the 30-yard line, driving the fucking full length of the field. He fucking fumbles on like 1st and 10. His dumbass fucking fumbles. Broncos got on there and score, and I want to say they win the Super Bowl. We had the nigga shit in the bag. They win the Super Bowl. Our 3rd string running back fumbles it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the Steelers' fucking offense looks like next year without AB, without Le'Veon.
Hopefully without Big Ben. There's no real reason to pay him anymore.
That's true.
Rooney just said they want to extend him.
What?
He's
Saw
an
that?
idiot.
Y'all
He's
are
an
stupid.
idiot. He's an idiot. But I mean, I guess with Juju popping off, I guess you figure you got a number one back. But I'm not. For what? Like, let's just start over. Trade Ben Roethlisberger to the Jaguars with their number 7 pick. That'd be fun.
They'd never fucking do that shit.
I know, but that'd be fun anyway. All right,
Number 7.
we can wrap this up.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. Thank you guys for listening to another PSA. We'll surely be back next week with some more content. As always, it's fun. Go Defy Life. Public sports announcement. Anything else from you guys?
No, not really.
Watch
Enjoyed the
these
playoffs
games.
this weekend. Yeah, enjoyed the
Yep.
playoffs.
Enjoy the playoffs. And Arsenal Chelsea this Sunday. Y'all already know what's going down. Go Gunners. Sam, if you're trying to watch it at the bar, we're probably watching at the bar. But
Yeah, y'all can slide through. All PSA listeners.
oh, for sure. Anybody. As long as you fucking with the Gunners. Chelsea shit. Fuck them niggas. But anyway. Alright, we out.
Peace.
Where's my recorder at?
Damn, that was a long ass.